All right, we're back for more. We're gonna do some radiator work today on the old truck. I think you call it a truck. I don't know what you call it anymore. I've butchered it so bad. Anyway, I got this housing here, and I'm working on the framework, and I'm gonna build a box up so that the air has to go in it. And we're gonna work on it slowly today. All right, I built this box around here, and I've got some sacrificial because I don't want this laying up against the weld. You notice I put a gap over in here, so this piece. Now I've drilled holes in the Bridgeport, and I've made a square box here, and got that sacrificial foam in there. We're gonna tack it together right now, and then weld it off the radiator. But I'll end up building an air box off of this, but the foam's in there right now. Later I'll put the foam in. We're gonna tack it together right now. Alright, I got it all tacked up here, and I'm gonna take it off and weld her up now. And then I'm not gonna weld it on here, but I got it fitted, and we'll take it off, weld it, let it cool, put it back on. Alright, I got her all welded up there. Got some welds put on it. We'll let her cool down here for a little bit, and then we'll bolt it back on and make the brackets that are going to go in there. I think I got to do some cutting in there with a grinder. Cut a little bit of this motor mount off. I'm not going to need it anymore, so I might whack it off there. Alright, I got this thing set up in here where I think it's going to be up rounded the corners. And I'm going to come off with a 3-inch tube and then weld angle, and I'll be able to bolt both sides and take the radiator in and out. And then I ordered an overflow catch can to go in here, 3 inches by 10 inches. But we'll build a box to force the air to come through that grill after I get this mounted. I've made these the tube, 1-inch tube I bought. I cut down the angle, I even cut down the side to make it look a little prettier. What these are going to do is I got to do a little grinding here before I can weld, but they're going to come, this piece is going to go in right there, like so, and then it's going to go over there. Hopefully you can see that. So this piece will go to the frame and be welded, and that angle will get welded onto that side, and then I'll drill a couple bolt holes so that frame can come on and off. So we're gonna grind the frame. I got the radiator propped up on the jack right now. I think the cap can come off, and everything should work. So we're going to get this stuff tacked on and welded, and then drill some holes. I got to do a little grinding before I can weld there. I got to do a little fab, a little pre-work so the weld will stick, and then after that's done, then I cross drill these two pieces together for a 7/16 bolt or a 3/8 bolt to go through there. Then this whole housing will be able to bolt on and off. And I got a catch can coming from the other side. And this side will have the steering linkage come around. But I got to get it mounted, and then with that angle that's in there, I'll be able to come in with some sheet metal and force that. I got a 14-inch push-pull fan coming that'll mount on the front side, electric fan. And then once we get the motor up in here, I'll off this bolt holes, we'll build a mechanical box too, so it can it has to suck with the fan, and we'll have electric fan to blow if we need it to. So right now I got to get this frame cleaned up, and we'll weld our mounts on it we made and then drill them. All right, stay tuned. So you might ask yourself, why didn't you use an angle inside of an angle? If you notice, that round tube fits really well in there. Plus, I'll get more structure by welding that piece 4-dimensional to the frame. But that angle iron sits real nice and pretty. I'll be able to bolt it, and it'd be pretty structurally sound. If you use that angle, see that point on the outside of the angle? It doesn't go in the radius. So that's why I bought that 1-inch tube. And that's why it's 1/8 inch thick. So it's going to be all my structure basically for this. And then, you know, when I put the air dam stuff in there, that'll help too. All right, I got it in here where I want it. I got it all tacked, and looks pretty level. I think I can get the cap off. It's gonna be pretty sturdy. I'm gonna take the clamps off now. I'm gonna weld it up, and then put it back in here. I'm gonna cross drill this for the mount bolts. All right, I get everything welded, and all the bracketry here welded. Now I got a drill. I'm gonna hand drill my mount holes in there, and I got bolts here that are, see, they got a shoulder on them, so I can't collapse that tube. So that's an 1/8 inch tube. It's gonna be hard to collapse, but that you can't collapse it all the way. It'll bottom out. But we're going to go ahead and drill these holes and mount it, and then the radiator will have a new home. All right, I'll come back. All right, so I got cross bolts going through here. I got one going that way and one going down. This thing is as solid as you can make a radiator mount. But you know, I'll end up putting foam in here to seal that gap up, and tomorrow we'll come out and make the part out there where air has to go in. But radiator's part of the truck now. I think it's looking pretty good. I'll get that sealed up, seal that hole up, and then make the box for the fan. I got a electric fan, 14-inch electric fan, and I got a 3-inch by 10-inch water cooler coming here, or overflow catch can. I'll mount that overflow catch can here. But I think she's doing pretty good now. We got a radiator. That firewall, it still ain't flashed out all the way, so I'm either gonna have to wait for it to flash so that it dulls out like it's supposed to, or I'm gonna scuff it with some Scotch Brite or something and get it to dull out. But radiator's done. You know, the mount for it, and you can see the motor over there. It's gonna fit in there real well. I got 38 inches to the firewall, the fan and everything. It's, by the time I get that motor in there, you're gonna think that I planned it that way. Alrighty, that's all I'm gonna do tonight. Tomorrow I'm gonna come out and fill that gap, make it to where the air has to go through that radiator, and then once I get that done, I'm actually ready to shove that motor and transmission up in there. I'll have to cut that hole for the firewall a little bigger, but I'll be able to put that in there and make the motor mounts and the transmission mount and then start working on the floor. All right, check back.